The year is 2022, and you only have $100 to build an NES collection. What games would you pick?
Ooh.
Today, we're going to tell you the games we would pick if we were to start this whole thing all over again and build an NES collection out of 100 Benjamin Franklins. What are we drinking today?
We're drinking Easy Eddie by Big Grove. This is a hazy IPA, and it's from Iowa.
All right, you know the drill. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring that bell icon so you never miss one of our wacky uploads. And sit back, relax, pour yourself a beer if you care to, and welcome to an old school style gaming off the grid video, all hovering around the Nintendo Entertainment System.
Girl JLove81, and you're watching my boys gaming off the grid.
This fun little series was the brainchild of the Bit by Bit podcast,
Yes.
Russ Lyman
And NES Addict. And they kind of started this whole thing, and then Megadame did a video.
Yeah, and he delivered it to our front porch.
And then it's spiraled out of control.
Yeah.
Every channel's been doing this series. This series is so much fun because you want to pick games that are your favorite, but then also you look at it and you're like, damn, Contra's $30?
Yeah, no.
You only have $100.
Our mentality for this video was most bang for the buck. How many games can we get for $100 that we actually really like and that are great games? So there's no Punch Out in this episode. And I know you're gonna be like, "What? Oh, Punch Out's one of your favorite games of all time," but it's not gonna be in this video because you gotta be budget friendly, and it speaks to the fact that retro gaming does not have to be insane to collect for in 2022, and a lot of people think it's impossible.
Yeah, a lot of people think, oh, NES, it's too expensive to collect for because there's games like Power Blade 2.
Well, and they hear like Little Samson, and they're like, oh, I can never do that. You can, not Little Samson, but you could build a banging NES collection. We're going to do that for $100 today, and if you had these games in your collection, you would be sitting really freaking good.
And we got 11 games. So average less than $10 a pop. Let's start off with the first game in our list. This game's kind of expensive. It's $11.64.
Yeah, so that's kind of expensive.
We're doing loose prices for NES, and our prices are from PriceCharting.com.
Yeah.
So the first game is Legendary Wings. We love our shmups. And this game is so cool because it's vertically scrolling and side scrolling.
Yeah,
it does both.
The levels alternate, and this is a Capcom classic. The arcade version is awesome as well, but this game is gorgeous. It's not that hard of a beat. We had to have a shooter in here. In fact, we have multiple shooters in here, so stay tuned for the rest. But yeah, I think Legendary Wings, for that price point, I wouldn't be surprised if that game was a super heavy hitter, really expensive, but $11.64.
Visually looks great.
Yeah.
I love the sprites, the music's awesome, Legendary Wings. It scratches that shmup itch for a pretty decent price. Gradius was really close to making our list, but it was $13. So that's how close our list was.
Yeah, and we would pick Gradius over this, but we're pinching pennies over here.
Yeah.
The next game, we're a co-op channel. And we're not really good at beat 'em ups, but we do like beat 'em ups. In this game for $12.97, Double Dragon 2.
This might be our most expensive game.
How you doing?
Co-op beat 'em up classic. This game is so much fun.
Yeah.
I love the beat 'em up aspect, the sprites. I'm gonna say this about every NES game, but I love the music. This game is awesome, and it scratches that beat 'em up itch. So we, on top of just trying to get cheap games, we try to cover almost every genre, and I think we did a pretty damn good job. So we've got a shooter, we've got a beat 'em up. Now let's move on to
a run and gun.
A run and gun slash shooter. Guerrilla War. This game is $12.84, so we're starting off really expensive.
So kind of in this bucket, we were wanting to scratch that Contra itch.
Yes.
But Super C is like 20-ish, Contra's like 30-ish. It's like, we kind of got to go to this SNK game, Guerrilla War.
This game is badass, though.
Would remind you a little bit in the vein of like Heavy Barrel. There's maybe because you can get into some vehicles, like some Jackal elements
and
here.
It also kind of reminds me of Metal Slug. Like the way the characters look.
Yeah.
And, so
kind of that fat, chunky, cartoony type graphics.
It's cool because it's like a run and gun shooter, and then one of the buttons is grenades, like you lob grenades, like top-down view. This game is really fun, especially co-op.
What I love about Guerrilla War is it's awesome. So, of course, that's part of it. But nobody talks about this game.
Yeah.
I've recently been hearing a lot about like Heavy Barrel, another one you should check out.
Heavy Barrel's great.
But not many people mention Guerrilla War. Check it out. It's on the DL. Boom, Guerrilla War.
So the next game on our list is a staple, and I think if you're going to start collecting in 2022 for the NES, this is one that you're going to get because it's amazing and because of nostalgia. And that is the Super Mario Bros. Double Pack with Duck Hunt.
Yes.
Because this is where the money is, because we were originally going to do the 3-pack with track and field or whatever it is.
That track and field game.
Track and field, and the game's more expensive. So this Mario 2-pack is $4.98, less than $5. You get your Mario Itch, the original Mario Bros, one of the first games I ever played. Actually, it was this, the double pack was the first game I ever played.
Same here.
Duck Hunt was it's amazing. It's awesome nostalgia. Less than $5 for like one of the NES staples.
I mean, yeah, I think the most you look at the NES's install base, and I think most people had that combo cart,
the double pack,
like as an insert, right? It was just part of the console. Oddly enough, I feel the same way about Wii Sports, which is on the Wii, but that for some reason sells for like $20, and this still, awesome combo game is still $4.98.
We're mostly just getting it for Mario,
because
we needed a Mario game on our list because we love Mario, obviously.
Yeah, for sure.
But Duck Hunt is an awesome add-in, especially if you're feeling like, oh, I want to do some shooters on the NES.
Yeah.
So,
Light Gun, Mario. Ooh. See,
Bug.
Uncle Bug.
Nah. Yeah, I get it. Bug. Now let's move on to some sports games. You love football, so we had to include a football game, Tecmo Bowl. The original. No super involved.
Yeah.
Tecmo Bowl.
We might get into some debates here later in this episode because there are other sports games coming.
Yeah, we did a lot of sports games.
This is one of the best sports games on the NES. There's people that like Super Tecmo Bowl. I get it. I've never really loved it. I like the Super Tecmo Bowl, like on Super Nintendos.
Yes.
This game is just so fun. It's so simple, so basic.
4 plays, super easy to predict the plays. It's just really fun. Bo Jackson, like, dude.
Walter Payton's in the game. Let's go.
Even if you don't know anything about football, you can still have fun because it's so simple, and it just is fun.
Yeah, and I always play as the Bears, and I'm a Packers fan.
The Bears.
This game is awesome, especially if you're co-op or you have more than one person to play up with somebody, because you do head-to-head.
Yeah.
And that's why we like Tecmo Bowl, and it's freaking so cheap.
Yeah, I mean, it's unreal that game is under $10. Don't know if that game's even on the NES Classic, meaning that's like one of the best ofs.
It's a freaking staple. Now let's move on to another shmup.
But a lot of shmups are you're either in like a spaceship or an airplane.
No.
This one you're in a helicopter.
You're in a helicopter.
And this game's super fucking cheap.
And
this game's $4.11 for the card only.
Tiger Heli. This game is very basic and very simple. The sprites will remind you kind of Paperboy, but more basic. I think this game was an early release.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. Acclaim is the publisher.
The music's really good. It's just straightforward. Everything's on the same plane. You know, there's no like depth like there is in freaking Legendary Wings, you know. But it's still fun and scratches that shmup itch for freaking $4.
Yeah, I think this was, I already said Acclaim, but I think it was developed by Taito.
Oh,
yeah,
that would make sense.
Yeah,
this game is really fun.
If you followed that name on the NES, they deliver great games. Unreal to me that Tiger Heli's $4.11.
Yeah, that's freaking crazy.
Not even close to being the best shooter on the NES, but it's a good to great shooter on the NES in its own right. A lot of fun, and it's not even that tough of a beat.
No,
it's just a good game.
Now let's move on to some freaking baseball. And especially if you have more than one person, here we go, head to head. RBI Baseball. This game's around $8, and man, head to head, this game is so much fun.
It is. It's out of control. All your fielders move in the same direction when you're, out in the outfield, infield, no matter where you are.
Different pitches you can do because of the D-pad. It takes a little bit to kind of figure out the controls, but then also the controls make sense and are easy because the D-pad is your home bases, you know? This game, especially head-to-head, is the way to go. It's so much fun. You can throw this in, have some freaking beers, and just have fun.
You can also just pick the National League All-Star team and sub in Mark McGwire.
Ooh.
You can thank me later for that.
The money.
Yeah.
Show me the money.
Yeah.
Now let's move on to one of my favorite games of all time. We couldn't fit Punch-Out in the list, but we could fit mine because it's way cheaper. This game is less than $10, and that is Dr. Mario.
Enter our puzzle game in this episode here.
Dude, if you've been following the channel for a while, you know I freaking love this game. I play this game all the time. The music is amazing. Fever's really good, but then Chill. Best video game soundtrack. This game is so good.
Yeah, it's one of the best video game songs.
Good. Like, this game is so great. I just love puzzle games, and I've always been a fan of Dr. Mario. Even, like, when I see this game in the arcade, I gotta play it.
Yeah.
So, this had to make our list. Less than $10 for Dr. Mario, that's a staple.
I love this game now, but I do remember renting it as a kid and almost crying when I got it home, because, it was once a month you got to go rent a game, and I seen Mario and I'm like, I gotta get this
new Mario game.
And I got it home and I'm like 5 and I'm like, I don't even know what I'm fucking doing, man.
Where's the corner? Where's the platform? Where's Bats? And he's just flipping pills.
Yeah, I just was beside myself. But anyway, it is awesome. Yeah,
and
but
now,
I agree with you when you say it's better than Tetris. I do agree.
Yes, dude, it is
hot take.
Way better than Tetris.
Yeah.
Way better than Tetris, hands down. Now let's move on to another sports game, but we had to bring in some freaking volleyball. Kings of the freaking beat. This game is only $5.31, and it's up to 4 players, which is extra value. I know a lot of you got to get like a multi-tab.
Yeah.
But this
the old
game,
Foursquare.
This game is so freaking simple, but fun. By Ultra, I mean Konami.
Yeah.
Like, this game is badass.
Steep learning curve, but once you get it down, the co-op aspect in this game, it's so fun.
Work together.
You just want to keep playing.
We've talked about
we
this
can do
game
better ad nauseum, but
it's so cheap.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And we've had to think we got this game, because actually we got this for this episode. $5.31 is what we're saying. We got this at this retro gaming store we have up the road, where all their like sports NES games are like $1 or $1.99. I can't remember. This was in there.
Yeah, so half the price.
It was like $1.99.
I bet you could find this game for way cheaper anywhere else, but we're gonna say $5.31. This is the game we keep going back to and we keep playing because it's cooperative and we try to just see as far as we can get.
Yeah.
It's so simple. The sprites and the graphics are so basic, but it's so much fun, and that's all that matters. Video games are supposed to be fun, and for freaking $5,
let me tell you something.
We've got our money out of it.
She's a beaut, Clark.
Now, the next game on our list is one of our favorite NES games. It's so badass.
Yeah.
Jackal.
Yeah, so we've had these games, some of these coming up on like our Games We're Playing episodes, some of our top 10 videos. Yeah. But Jackal, it's unreal to me that in 2022, this game's still $9.98.
Less than $10 for one of the best co-op freaking games. This game is awesome. Yeah. You're running around. I mean, you're not running. You're driving a freaking tank, driving a Jeep. I always call it a tank. You upgrade your freaking grenades, your missiles. This game is so awesome. Even single player, it's fun.
These type of games always make me question what drives the video game market, because like Super C and Contra are both like, I think Contra's like 30-ish, Super C's like 20-ish, this game's like 10-ish. And the install base, you would think would be, is it a supply and demand thing? Because Jackal probably undersold all of those, so why is Jackal like this Konami silver cover game that is just, oh, I'm just out here. Life Force is even more, Gradius is even more. I don't get it.
I don't get it
because it's badass. I'm not saying it's better or worse than the others, but it's on the same level. It is on the same level.
It is so much fun, and we cannot stop playing it. This game is so freaking great. So at this point, we have about $14 left. We could probably get some super cheap games, but we were like, we already have 10 games. Let's kind of go for something expensive, and by something expensive, I mean
hitter.
$12.
Yeah.
$12.08 for also one of the best NES games ever. Sunsoft at its finest. Mother effing Batman. We've talked about this game a lot too on the channel. That's why we saved it for the end. So if you've been watching those videos, you're like, oh, they're just saying the same stuff. But it's only $12 and it fits our list.
Yeah.
This is one of my favorite NES games. This game is amazing. I know it's single player, but we take turns per level. Yep. That's how we play it. The gadgets, the freaking, the music, the sprites, the
best wall jumping in any video game.
Dude, it just makes sense. It makes sense. Batman is incredible, and that leaves our total 11 games, $98.96. That is insane.
Yeah, and there's a little bit left. We have what, $1.04.
$1.04.
I think this next game you could get someone to part ways with for $1.
Yes.
at a convention, at a game store. And because Megadan 29 got us on the train for this type of video.
Oh my god. Yeah, so we had to pay homage to him. This game on price sharing though is $2.95. So it didn't make our cut, but you could find it way cheaper.
Everything we're saying up to this point is our real list, but we're going to just throw in there John Elway quarterback football.
Yeah, so we already have Tecmo Bowl. We're bringing in another football game. This game is worse than Tecmo Bowl. I'm going to say that right now. Way
it's one
worse.
of the worst NES games ever made.
But it is.
Megadan's like a world record holder, I think. So
yeah. I only like this game because of Megadan.
Yeah.
So you can thank him later for picking it up and being like, this game sucks. It does.
Yeah.
But go watch him play it. You watch him play it, you go, oh, I want to play that now, even though it sucks.
Yeah, well, there's a couple games though that fall into this bucket that we'll add in here that I think you could probably get for right around $1 if you find the right person. Ice hockey on NES.
Yep.
Not quite as good as Blades of Steel,
Nope.
but ice hockey is really freaking good. It's a
Especially
really good game. It's like $4.
If you can get it for $1.
Top Gun, just figure out how to land the plane. That's fun enough.
It is. I will say.
Broken game.
I will say when you put it in, you're gonna go, "What the fuck am I doing?" But I had that game growing up.
Yeah,
so.
and then NES Golf, Black Label game. I don't know.
A lost
maybe. Yeah.
For the NES golf.
So I think you could get those at a retro store that people are trying to clear stuff out for $1.
Yeah, they're around $4 a piece on price starting, but we're gonna say those are. You could probably get them for free, actually.
Yeah,
if you find the right person. But that's our list: 11 games, $98 with some iffy
little
games.
fluff in there with
little,
what you could do with that other $1 for.
But we tried to get our most bang for the buck while also including games that we love, and these are all games that we play all the time, and we love these games, and they're cheap. We probably could have got a little bit more if we would have, not gotten like, I don't know, Batman and all. Like,
yeah.
But we're realistic. Like, we love these games, and they're decently priced.
It's a solid list. Solid list.
I think it's a pretty solid list. And speaking of solid, let's talk about this beer.
Yeah, for sure. We got the Easy Eddie.
This is the Easy Eddie by Big Grove Brewery out of Iowa City, Iowa. Only 2 hours from us, and I think they're building a Big Grove in Des Moines.
Yeah.
So that's really freaking cool.
They've won awards with this brew.
This is their flagship beer, I would say. This is like what made them big. This is a hazy IPA. That's all it is. Straight freaking forward. This is like a beer you find everywhere. Like, it's in gas stations, especially in the Des Moines area. What do you think?
It's great for what they're trying to do. Easy Eddie is easy on the palate. It's like an elevation beyond what you would be getting with domestics. It's a great craft beer, entry level IPA.
I think it's a great introduction.
So let's start there. But in that space, this is probably the best IPA I have had in that space.
Yes.
For an entry level IPA, not rating it against like some major heavy hitters that are going to bust you in the chops with hops and all those things. What they were going for here, calling it Easy Eddie, that's what they're going for.
It's an easy drinker.
It is.
Yeah.
And they nailed it. And it's really fucking good.
Like,
dude.
if you have like a party and like people are coming over and they're not really craft beer people, they're like Bud Light, Busch Light people, you throw them an Easy Eddie, I bet they would be like, oh, pretty good.
Yeah.
And it's an easy drinker.
Yep.
The flavor doesn't linger very long, but I think that's what they were trying to do.
Yeah.
And like, this is a really good, like, I'll pick up a 6-pack, I'll pound it, like, it's great at what it's doing. And Easy Eddie, I really love.
I do too.
I pick this beer up all the time.
Safe play.
Yeah,
Safe
because
play
I
all the
know
way.
what I'm getting with it. It's delicious. It's just a nice, easy, light drinker, but it's an IPA.
Yeah.
So
for what they were trying to do, it's a home run.
yeah.
If you're in the Iowa area, pick up some Easy Eddie.
And also, the brewery is badass. So
Yeah.
they have a lot of really good beer.
For sure.
Big Grove's awesome. And like you said earlier, home run. They must have been playing RBI Baseball.
Possibly. All right, in the comment section below, let us know, what would you do if you only had $100 to start from scratch and build an NES collection? Do you like our approach? Do you hate our approach?
And they're like, those games suck.
Don't know. I think we did pretty freaking good with our 100 Benjamin Franklins, but hey, who am I to judge? You guys are always the judge and the jury for this channel.
Whoa.
If you want to support us moving forward and our future growth, make sure you click the link in the description below for Patreon. I know I hate giving ourselves a tug, but
We save it for the end. We
saved it for the end. We appreciate you hanging out, chilling, having an Easy Eddie with us, and talking NES. We'll see you next time right here on the one and only Gaming Off the Grid. In 2022, if you were to start an NES collection from Squatch,
from that Squatch,
Sasquatch, and welcome to an old school style episode of Gaming Off the Grid. Let's do one more.